They'd met 2 years ago today in a Ponyville pub on the 1st of St. Patrick's Week. Bonbon had been there with a few friends, or at least she thought she'd come there with friends, even if they'd since vanished into the general crush. After a few moments casting fruitlessly about, Bonbon made her way over to the bar for her fourth? For another glass of something nice. She never got around to ordering it though. There was a unicorn mare sitting alone in a corner. A very good-looking green mare who looked just about as glum as she could get in the middle of such celebrations. Bonbon noticed that the stranger's glass was almost foamless and still full.
Drink not doing you anything?
The mare looked up, gold eyes blinking under seafoam bangs.
Sorry?
She asked. Bonbon assumed that's what she asked anyway. The noise of the band made it hard to hear anything lower than a shout. It was getting cheerful real quick tonight. So Bonbon pointed to a neglected pint sitting before the stranger and leaned in really close.
You a drink. Would you like to try something different?
The mare eased back slightly, a little smile on her face, but she shook her head.
I don't feel much up for drinks tonight, miss. Bonbon.
Supplied the tipsy mare.
And if you won't drink, then you should at least dance.
Faster than she could think better of it, Bonbon tucked the unicorn off her stool and into the crowded dance floor. The mint green mare staggered a bit and tried to friage back to the bar.
Thanks kindly, but...
Bonbon's last 3 drinks reached out and reeled the pony back in, pulling them both onto their hind hooves and pulling them close so they could speak without shouting.
Come on, it'll boost your ego to dance with me. I'm terrible at it.
That got a laugh from the green mare, even as reluctant as she obviously still was. But Bonbon hadn't got this far by picking up on awkwardness, so she laughed too and charged them out among the dancers. As bad as Bonbon's dancing really was, her companion managed to steer them more or less out of harm's way, though not without a few bumps and bruises. By the end of the first reel, neither of them could catch their breath for giggling, and they swung into the next 2 dances like berserkers rushing into battle.
Right hoof, left hoof, right hoof. Excuse us, pardon me coming through. Whoa, wait, Miss Bonbon, it's the other right. Ouch! Did I mention I've already had a bit tonight? Probably should have warned you. Not sure I'd have dared be your partner if you had. That's a joke, isn't it? It is. Even if the bruise on my ankle isn't. Now do a spin. Whee!
Eventually, the 5 emptied glasses caught up to the earth pony, and Bonbon almost dragged the unicorn to the floor as the room listed suddenly to one side.
Whoops. Sorry about that. Never you fret.
The strange mare. Had Bonbon even asked her name? Reassured, looking around and guiding Bonbon to a mostly empty table, the earth pony looked back at the other dancers and grumbled.
Wish I could dance properly. Bad when I'm tipsy. Worse when I'm not. Oh, shush.
Chuckled the unicorn, steering her new friend towards a chair. Settling Bonbon down, she pushed a bowl of green cookies and an untouched glass of water into reach, then smiled.
Now you just hide here for a while with Barry.
A green hoof patted the other table's occupant on the head, making the distinctively drunk earth pony mumble sleepily.
And I'll put you on a little show, one to make all those proper dancers feel every bit as green as you do.
Bonbon blinked up into 2 bright and twinkling eyes, a bit surprised to see them alive with mischief when they looked so glum before.
And how will you manage that then?
But the green mare just grinned and bounced off toward the musician's stand. Suppressing another hiccup, Bonbon took a careful sip of water as she watched the unicorn speak to a raven-haired fiddle player between songs. Then the first bars of the next reel started up, and a great cheer rose from the crowd. Instantly, the dance floor was cleared of most ponies, though several new ones galloped up to help fill it again. The green mare bounced to the forefront, turning the whole crowd to face Bonbon, and crossed her forehoofs, grinning as she waited for the music to roll around again. Behind her, over a dozen other ponies mimicked her movements perfectly. And when the reel started for the second time, the flawlessly in-tune clatter and thumps of their hoofs rumbled through Bonbon like thunder. She'd seen things like this before, once or twice, but never from a front row seat, and certainly never with the lead dancer beaming at her like she was the prettiest mare in the room. But that's exactly what her strange new dancing friend was doing. Blushing, Bonbon did her best to hum along with the tune. She watched the complex hoofwork out of the corner of her eye and held the green unicorn's gaze all through the spirited dance. When it ended, the rush of noisy yells and whistles didn't catch her by surprise, partly because she was stomping her hooves as loud as the rest of them. What did surprise her was the green mare running back to the table just long enough to nab Bonbon and pull her out onto the dance floor again. There was no point trying to say anything. The cheers had suddenly gotten 10 times louder, but the mare stood beside Bonbon and motioned to watch her steps and follow along. So Bonbon did. They danced at half measure to everyone else, bridging and filling the gaps in the music. And at first, Bonbon worried she would trip and fall flat on her face. But the unicorn stayed steady at her side, propping her up and following Bonbon's pace as much as Bonbon was following hers. Soon, dancing stopped being a worry for the earth pony. Only the end of the music worried her, because she wished it never would. It did though, and they improvised a little flourish to the dance's finish, before laughing their way off the stage to the roar of an enthused crowd. Back at the table, they clapped side by side. The mare, Berry, just as unconscious as before.
That was...
gasped Bonbon, trying to catch her breath again.
amazingly fun! Is dancing your special talent? Is cheering up poor sods yours?
Parried the unicorn, leaning over to nip a shamrock-shaped cookie from its bowl. Bonbon gave her a playful shove, feeling as if she'd known the mare for ages. She frowned.
You didn't tell me your name before, did you? I swear, for all the noise and dancing, I can't remember. I didn't,
confessed the mare with a blush. A blush that deepened to a shocking scarlet as she held out a hoof.
Sorry. I'm Lyra Heartstrings and,
She looked Bonbon up and down once, as if checking for something.
I noticed you don't have anything green on.
Bonbon giggled.
I think I was wearing a shamrock in my tail. Sometime before my third drink.
Lyra grinned, but glanced down at the table nervously.
Well, it's tradition to wear green today.
She started, almost mumbling her words.
So I was wondering if, since I'm a sort of greenish color myself, maybe for the rest of the night I could...
Bonbon interrupted her with a kiss. A little one. Just a peck on the lips. But it turned the poor green mare as red as an apple. Across the table, Berry snickered in her sleep. Bonbon moved back a bit, keeping one hoof pressed over Lyra's own, and smiled impishly up at her new friend.
I'd like it deep for the rest of the night, if you'll beam us something green for St. Patty's week.
Mutely, Lyra nodded. The biggest, most ridiculously happy grin was spreading across her face. 2 years later, Bonbon was much better at dancing. Lyra made sure to train her up special so they could perform together and be the stars at some pub every St. Patrick's Day. It was, and their friends agreed, a very cute way of celebrating their anniversary.
Support me on Patreon. Subscribe and make sure to ring that notification bell to know when I post new content. And please, feel free to join the Lotus Garden. Links in the description. Thanks for listening and look forward to more. Good night, every pony.